All around me are familiar faces, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere. Tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression.
A quick update on the Big Brother 24 live feeds coming off of Wednesday night's episode, them finally editing in some of Kyle's racism and also Michael and Brittany using racism as gameplay as well. That part of the episode was pretty rushed because they had to put so much information into it. They had to give flashbacks from all the way back of day 39 because they never kept up with Kyle's story. And of course, they only have to do this because they got very negative press for not doing this in the first place. It also just reminded me how stupid this show is. Why it gives me a headache. This show gives me a headache because we have this episode and it's like, here's flashbacks to all of Kyle's racism as gameplay, and also here is Michael and Brittany using the racism as gameplay for their advantage, and it's all sponsored by the movie Bros. Hollywood's so gross. Don't you just love Hollywood? To the surprise of no one because of the edit, Michael and Brittany are the villains to the casuals completely, and Kyle is the victim because Brittany and Michael are trying to ruin Kyle's little life. Didn't see that coming. This is what happens when you don't keep up with the edit of what really is happening on the feeds. Now, people being mad at Michael and Brittany, you have every right, but it's, once again, it's a reaction to an action of Kyle's. So maybe try and hold Kyle responsible for bringing this on himself. His words, his white nationalist words that he brought up, silent majority, Indy not being American, but still not white, ridiculousness. But what would you expect? Nothing lasts from Facebook full of dumbasses. Alyssa, who had broken up with Kyle, is still sleeping with the guy. Maybe she really needed those extra 10 seconds of fucking. Apparently that is the case. People speculating that Alyssa only broke up with Kyle for TV to save her image, kind of becoming the theme of my last couple of videos. These people just want to try and save their image, but forget that there are live feeds. And we see Alyssa break up with Kyle and trying to save face, but then going right back to sleeping with him. It's weird, but, you know, I'm not going to slut shame Alyssa. I think slut shaming can be annoying, but when she is being slut shamed after the season, will I probably chuckle? Probably. I'm not going to stick up for any of these people in the offseason. Monty's still been trying to push to Taylor about how Brittany and Michael have used all of this to their advantage, how it was very calculated. The point in time in which they brought this information about Kyle out.
Because this would have been a perfect opportunity to show where he stands with you and where and what message he can send to the house by taking you down and having Brittany stay on the block. I understand you want your opportunity to talk about what you should be talking about. But like I said earlier, this could also be an opportunity for Brittany to own up to her mistakes and Michael's mistakes in holding this information from the house and trying to do an honorable thing by waiting 2 weeks after they already knew about it when they had all the opportunity to share it with us. They even said it. If Kyle was gone after Diet Fest, they didn't see a reason to bring it up. And they said that it would have probably been mentioned at some later point when though. And why would they have a reason to bring it up? Why would we even be able to believe them at that point? Because Kyle won't be here to defend himself. so they would have never told us.
Maybe Monty's kind of getting through to Taylor because she has talked about how, Michael is a big target and whoever takes Michael out could win the game. Now, does that mean she would do that if she won the next HOH and take out Michael? I don't know. And there's a lot of people, a lot of Taylor stans who seem divided on which way Taylor should go. Stick with Michael and Brittany, who, if they go to Final 3, neither of them will take her to Final 2? Or does Michael need to be the one to go sooner rather than later? It's a good debate. But I really think either way you slice it, Taylor's has a lot to maneuver in this game. A lot of the players tried to play these terrible rat games to be in the middle of the house. But Taylor's social game, and why I think it does need to be commended, is because Taylor is quite literally the only player right now with options. And that is because she has that connection with Brittany and Michael, but she also has a thing with Monty. She has more maneuvering that she can make than a lot of these players left do. And that's a pretty positive thing. Since so many other players had terrible fucking social games, they don't have as many options. Once again showing why social games can be important. We're getting towards the end. You're going to have to maneuver either way. But the biggest thing is, you don't want to get to Final 3 with Michael. I think Michael needs to go in one of the next 2 weeks for a lot of these players to have a chance at winning the game. Michael should be the biggest target going forward. I mean, he should have been the biggest target for a long time now. And the fact that it took these awful players so long to realize that Michael wins all these competitions and that makes him a giant threat is ridiculous. But it did take them this long. And now they're getting towards the end to where they need to get Michael out of the game. So I can kind of agree with the Taylor stans. If we're saying how can Taylor get to the end, she has a good shot as Michael and Brittany as her shield. But in order for Taylor to win the game, she can't get to Final 3 with Michael. Because Michael will win the Final 3 and he will take Brittany. So she has a lot of work to do. If Michael were to go, people are worried that Taylor would be an easy target going forward. That's not something I'm convinced of. Because we see, Monty and Turner kind of like a duo now. We have Alyssa and Terrence kind of off doing their own thing. A lot of the end game always also comes down to who wins the HOHs. So if Michael goes soon, it's really going to come down to who wins the HOHs and who they target. If Monty and Turner can continue to downplay their possibility of being a duo, that makes them a dangerous duo. And Michael and Brittany and Taylor as a trio are a bigger target in front of them. But the targets within that trio the big target within that trio should be Michael. But if you can't get out Michael, the target should be Brittany to weaken Michael. Like, I see that a lot of them see them as a trio, but they should be seeing them more of a duo between Brittany and Michael, especially after this week when Brittany and Michael bring up the racism as gameplay, and then Michael still uses the veto on Brittany and not on Taylor. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of gameplay going on the feeds. It seems like Kyle is going. Kyle will get some last seconds of sex with Alyssa until the jury house, if Alyssa is ever sent to the jury house. I still think Alyssa could be a ghost that gets dragged to the Final 3, though.